What's going on, YouTube? It's ya boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another MLB DFS video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment anything in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway I do every single week on this channel. Thank you guys for joining me as always, and welcome back to GreenLightDFS.com. All right, as you can see on your screen, I have the Greenlight Optimizer up. You can build 150 lineups. You can build 1,000 lineups if you want to. My personal projections are entered into here as the day goes on, as like guys are officially entered in the starting lineups and stuff like that. Things will be adjusted and all that good stuff. So pay attention to it as the day goes on and as information comes out and all that. Luckily with baseball, we don't have a ton of information that changes things throughout the day outside of like where in the order guys bat. Like sometimes a guy who normally bats seventh, eighth will like lead off or bat second, and that'll make a big impact for him. That'll add like an extra at bat to the game, so obviously his projection will go up. So definitely pay attention to that. But yeah, I'm on the Greenlight Optimizer. I'm gonna go through my core plays that we're gonna want for today. Starting off first, Marcus Stroman's the number one guy that I'm interested in, and then AJ Smith Shaver. Now let's talk about this real quick. Marcus Stroman is at home in Chicago going against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's offense has not been that bad. They have not been bad. Like they're not the offense that we picked on a ton last season. Like they're just not. But this game is in Wrigley Field, and if everybody who's been playing DFS for a good amount of time knows that when the wind is blowing in heavily at Wrigley Field, is a huge bump to pitchers because the wind impact at that field is major. So Marcus Stroman is not only a solid pitcher, but he's got the huge benefit of being home in Chicago with the wind blowing in heavy. I believe it's like 15 to 20 miles per hour blowing in, which is a huge bump to pitchers. So love Marcus Stroman today. Next up, AJ Smith Shaver. Now, this is a question mark. I love this dude, and I pray this weather issue in Atlanta doesn't become an issue. So, as of right now, there's supposedly pop ups that could happen in Atlanta. As you guys know, in Atlanta, like pop ups happen all the damn time. But in this situation, we're hoping it misses the ballpark. We're hoping it doesn't really affect anything, or they just delay and then play. Like they just like you know what I mean? They don't delay. They don't start the game on time. They kind of delay it, wait a little bit, and then boom, play with no interruptions. um, that's what I'm hoping to happen, and that's what I'm gonna kind of expect to happen when it comes to the core today. But obviously, pay attention to that. You're not going to want AJ Shaver if there's a high delay possibility or if they postpone this game, obviously. All right, but remember in this video, I don't like they haven't postponed anything. Weather's looking like yes, it could be a problem, but could be one of those issues where you kind of can delay and then play with no interruptions. So that's what I'm going with. AJ Shaver's got the amazing spot here against Colorado on the road. Colorado's always an offense that you could pick on here. Vegas doesn't see Colorado's team total as very high today. They just don't see them having much success against AJ. So very solid spot for him at 5-5, and he makes a lot work in the bats because obviously when it comes to hitters, I got to get my boy Ronald Acuna. Ronald Acuna is expensive, yes, but there is a very impressive stat that I saw that I was like, oh yeah, this is ridiculous. Ronald Acuna Jr. has over a 75% hard contact rate versus left-handed pitching. Versus left-handed pitching, Ronald Acuna has over a 75% hard contact rate. That is ridiculous. That is crazy. Speaking of people who hit lefties very, very hard, at second base, Ozzy Albies. Ozzy Albies is another guy, and you're getting him under 5K. You're not going to get many of these Atlanta studs under 5K, if any. You're not getting any of them under 5K, but Ozzy Albies. Ozzy Albies is a guy who should bat higher in the order. Right now, we have him projected around 7th, but that's going to actually be higher. I'd probably project him more around like possibly 4th. You know what I mean? 4th, 5th, maybe. Probably 4th is normally what you see against lefties here. I love Ozzy Albies at 4-8. He's in a fantastic spot. Righty-lefty matchup. Hits lefties very hard. Another stat that I like to look at is barreled balls. I like to look at sorry. These allergies just don't go away. I like to look at barreled balls, like how cleanly these guys are putting the bat on the ball, like that sweet spot. How often they're hitting that sweet spot. And Ozzy Albies against lefties is constantly making solid contact. constantly hitting that ball in that sweet spot, which could just equate to big games against lefties. And we all know Albies against lefties has always been really good. So Ozzy Albies at second, and then we need a value, right? Because we're going around on Acuna. We're spending almost 5K on Albies. So I wanted to give y'all a value. As you guys know, I like to, sprinkle in a 2K something hitter in the core sometimes to kind of make things happen. If you sort point per salary, I don't even see him up here, which is pretty crazy. Let me see. Where is he? Let me see. Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward is the guy that's very interesting to me here. He's got the lefty-righty matchup against Cease. Not 100% sure where he's going to bat in the order. He batted fourth the other day. So who knows? He could bat fourth or fifth in this matchup here against Cease with the lefty-righty matchup. Cease gives up a little hard contact versus lefties and righties, so both sides are fine. Obviously, the platoon splits a little better. If you look at Jason Hayward's numbers, he's another guy who just hits the ball very solid versus righties, man. He's been doing a fantastic job versus right-handed pitching. And the best part about it is Dylan Cease has a couple pitches that he throws predominantly to lefties, right? He throws the fastball, which is always most pitchers' main number one pitch, right? But a lot of these guys, when they're facing their platoon matchups, like they're facing an opposite hand, they like to throw sliders. A lot of these guys have sliders because it goes away from the batter. Well, Jason Hayward mashes sliders as well. So if Cease is throwing a fastball, it's a dangerous spot versus Hayward. And if he tries to throw that slider to get him, it's going to be a dangerous spot for him there as well because Hayward hits sliders extremely hard as well. So it's just a solid spot for me here. Jason Hayward at 2.5 and one of the top team totals of the day. Lefty-righty matchup. Hits these pitches very well from Cease. Like I said, Cease is predominantly going to throw fastballs, but when he tries to sneak that slider in, Jason Hayward could do damage, especially if he leaves that kind of floating a little bit and doesn't get it out of the zone. If he keeps that slider, if that slider doesn't move out of the zone, it's going to be a problem for him. So, and that's about it, man. We got Marcus Stroman and AJ Smith-Shawver. Obviously, pay attention to the Atlanta weather, y'all. That's going to make a big impact if for some reason they postpone or something. You're going to want to get off of that. Ozzy Albies, Ronald Acuna, and Jason Hayward is going to be the core that we're going with today. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Good luck. We're going back to day one. We missed our day one prize picks challenge yesterday because I tried to get cute. I really loved Josiah Gray's under fantasy score, but instead I decided to go under his pitching outs, and he ended up going 7 innings, which was frustrating. After he gave up 4 early runs. I'm like, oh yeah, this dude's getting mashed. He's getting pulled quick, and then ends up settling down and ends up getting through 7. So that was unfortunate, but it is what it is, man. Yandy Diaz did great for our day one, but at the end of the day, when you're doing these ladder challenges, you're only going a couple picks, and it's rare that we miss these. We've been doing a fantastic job at getting to like day 4 range consistently. But yesterday, yeah, Josiah Gray ended up squeaking by. But today, back to the day one, and we're going to put our absolute 2 favorite picks on the MLB Access page, and we're going to climb that ladder once again. Thank you guys for joining me as always. GreenlightDFS.com, baby. Go grab your membership, and let's get to this money today. I'm out. Peace.